r/AskReddit by Reddit and chill. Tomorrow you wake up to find yourself in the year 2005. You are your younger self at this period in time. But you have all the knowledge of the skills you learned as well as the events that happen over the next decade and a half. What is your course of action? High school would be a lot easier. Just having my adult level of confidence would be a big improvement. Yeah. I can see how going through high school with a confidence in oneself could save one's social life. I'd be 30 years old. I should be working at a company where I could finally make $1,000 a week. I would save that money. Then I would take the time to work on certain character flaws that have done nothing but hinder my path to a better me. I'd do this by devising a plan to get in shape and eat healthy. 2 years from then I would meet a woman named Tammy. I would not get involved with her romantically. Not at all. In fact, I'd keep my distance. In fact, I would stay away from all of the women I dated during this time period. Just to be sure. Also, I'd move back in with my mother in 2010. Also, as soon as Bitcoin becomes a thing, I'd get involved with it then sell as soon as it gets high enough. Ron, is that you? I would be 16. So it would be before I met my now ex-wife. I would never talk to her. Therefore never have met her. I would double down on my efforts in high school in order to finish with a higher GPA to get a scholarship to college. I would work more shifts to save up for investments in Facebook, Amazon, Apple and Microsoft. Move to California after I graduate and attend SDSU. Find my present day girlfriend and start working towards a relationship with her. By the time I graduate college my investments will have yielded substantial dividends, allowing me to put a down payment on a decent house and build a sizable savings. Then, assuming all goes as planned, marry my current girlfriend and be the happiest I would have ever been. But what if that creates ripples in time and you don't meet your current girlfriend the way you were supposed to? So you tell her about the future you have together and she thinks you're crazy and pushes you away forever. Invest in Apple. I think you mean Amazon. I won't be able to enjoy my cartoons as a 4-year-old. I would riot. Same. Fortunately I got to go to the library a lot so I just start picking out books that I like. Parents try to talk me out of it. I tell them some stuff there's no way a 4-year-old should know. I'm one smartass 2-year-old. Oh god, I just realized that there are 16-year-old kids that were born after I finished high school. I'd be a 9-year-old. I'd never gain weight and eat wisely. And when I'd be 16 I will not get into that relationship. Study better and get into a better college. Take college seriously. And find some good folks and make meaningful friendships. Biff it. Kid, I own the cops. The only thing I can think of that I would do differently would be that I would have had oatmeal for breakfast on the 23rd of August, 2011 instead of grits. So you wouldn't be asked the question, how could it take you 5 minutes to cook your grits, when it takes the entire grit eating world 20 minutes? Make my friend go to the doctor for an MRI or CT scan or whatever is needed so they can find and operate on the aneurysm that killed him in January 2006. So sorry. I would be 14. I'd be starting high school. I'd actually be talented in baking and pastry and could flex in my vocational school and possibly get full rides to the schools I wanted to go to instead of partials and actually get to go. I'd stay close to my best friend at the time. I really miss her. I'd probably talk to my parents about my depression and ADHD so I could get it treated like my sister did when she was my age. I'd invest and save my money from the after school jobs in Amazon and Apple and get into Bitcoin ASAP. I might have a chance with my learning disability and mental illness being treated. I'd be living the sweet life Mayo. I'd be 19 and in the Air Force. I'd invest every penny I could into Bitcoin and Apple. I would become incredibly wealthy and separate from the Air Force early and then I'd go meet my wife 3 years early and live happily with her without any of the financial struggles. Then I'd travel the world with my wife, going everywhere we wanted to. Eventually settle down in the same area we live now and have kids and just take it easy for the rest of my life. Forrest Gump mowing that grass for free style. You wouldn't be rich for like 7 or 8 years. Invest in oil companies. Oil is about to boom in 2005. You would be loaded in just a few years. Tell my parents that they need to prepare for my cancer diagnosis in 3 years. Edit. I was cured when I was 6 in 2011 from my acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Since then my family and I have raised over $75,500 for cancer research. For everyone who wished me luck and gave me their wishes before this edit, thank you so much. Those parents better take you to a hospital right away because they can find cancer in its really early stages, which means it's not hard to cure, which means no future cancer, but god damn it. I hope you will get better, and you / last cry for help as well. I'd be a 5-year-old trying to convince my dad to spend all his savings in this Bitcoin thingy. Didn't exist until 2009. First I'll have to fake amnesia because I won't remember my routine, classmates' names, and lots of other things. Then become a child prodigy. Maybe get on the YouTube scene from back then and get a head start knowing the trends ahead of time. On the side I'll also open my own sub where I predict things like how The Force Awakens ends. And watch the conspiracy theories go wild. I'd start a cartoon series where I slowly leak out world event information a few years before those events actually take place. Seriously, I'd say, drink carefully, avoid stairs while drunk, and don't choose your degree path when you leave secondary school. I just want to hang out with my 18-year-old cat again. She passed away a day ago and it's been rough. I wish I could do it all over again. May she rest in peace. I'm sure she was a bucket of joy. I ducking panic. Because changing a single variable somewhere along the line will most likely result in me not having the same kids I have now. I wouldn't be able to live with the fact. The movie About Time covers this. Pretty decent movie. Put all my money on Leicester winning the league in 2016. It's 2005. You've got to bet on Liverpool at HT. Become a child prodigy. Invest in Bitcoin as soon as it exists. Probably tell my parents to pull out of the stock market in 2008. I know enough important dates and events between 2005 and 08 to convince him I know what I'm talking about. Same-ish. My dad is very into the stock market, and while I don't know a lot, I know enough to predict certain things and make us all rich. I'm pretty sure I could convince my dad of what was happening just by telling him about what happened in my personal life when I grew up. No child would invent this story, and he knows that there is more to the universe than meets the eye. Also, I know the storylines for all of the major TV dramas that will be coming out in the upcoming years, which would be very convincing, I think. Buy as much stock of Amazon and Apple as possible. Also prevent the Boston bombers. And as many mass shootings as possible. Finally, a good person stopping bad stuff. I would like to stop this sort of stuff, however Ireland doesn't have much to stop. Call up the woman I married in 2017 and get a head start on things. Quit smoking weed and cigarettes. Getting stoned and watching Friends episodes is not life. That guy you just met who seems too good to be true. Ghost him. He's lying to you. Don't drop out of college because you want to get into house flipping. The real estate market will crash in a couple years and you'll be screwed. Stay in school. I'd be the smartest 4-year-old ever. Go to college early. Place bets. Invest and invent Uber. Snapchat, you name it. I'd get rich and powerful. Then when I reach 14 years of age, I'll go find my friends and relive high school without so many worries. Cause there's no way I'm living my life without them. I make sure my brother doesn't move to North Carolina and die in an auto accident. I've got 7 years to figure out a way to get it done. Miss you, Joe. Go to college. I'd be in 5th grade with the knowledge of physics of a PhD student. Edit. I'm surprised this got so many upvotes. 3 thanks everyone. I went from 700 karma to 5,000 because of this. So that's how they do it. I would be a 5-year-old at the time, and the first thought that comes to me is that it'll be so frustrating to not be able to masturbate. Also 5. Thinking the exact same thing. Though I suppose our lack of testosterone estrogen would mean we wouldn't really feel the need. I'm 1 year old trying to convince my mom not to leave my dad. I wish I could see him more than once a year. Are you aware that this is a genre of stories on the internet? Some of these answers are weird. I'm inventing Snapchat, Instagram, Uber, you name it. Smartphones won't be widespread for another 7 or 8 years. Get through school with fewer loans. Sell the house 6 months earlier. Determine if the relationship can be saved at that point, since it was before his affair began. If not, part as amicably as possible. Spend more time with my grandfather before his unexpected fatal heart attack happens in 2007. Add more other foreign language courses to my extracurricular courses. Find a way to intern for Senator Obama. I find my wife and have 10 extra years with her. People keep saying this, but it'd never ever work. You'd feel empty, like you were going through the motions. You could never be on the same emotional page as her. Ever. That would be a living hell. Wanting something you can never have and being forced to confront it every day. I think I would buy a Bitcoin. Local man buys single Bitcoin when offered to go back in time. Don't buy the damn house. Don't go to college. Become truck driver and convince wife to move on truck with me and stack cash for next 9 years until kids come. Then we pay for nice house with cash, no mortgage at all. Forgot to add. The second I hear the term Bitcoin, sink every dollar I ever made into it and wait. The first time I heard the word Bitcoin, it was all over the news and suddenly my roommate had $30K. Enjoy life for what it was then and remember all of the things I don't remember at all from that period. Oh my god. So much trashy sex. Plus take up an exercise regimen and keep at it. Visit the dentist more often despite no insurance at that time. Go out more and hang out with more people before the social anxiety took a stranglehold on me. Divorce my wife immediately and take more time to do the things I want to do. I would tell myself that there is someone who was crushing on me for years but never did anything, and I never knew until I graduated high school. So I would do more to act on it that I now knew. I wouldn't change much. A few small tweaks and I'd have a lot of ducking cash on some Super Bowls and a couple stocks. Keep my father from dying. Done. Leave my wife at that time much sooner than I did. Adopt my current 1400 calorie diet then. Do what PewDiePie does before he started it. Then you can create a Reddit post asking Ata for leaving my wife because I live a separate life with her in an alternate timeline where things didn't work out. In 2005, I was 10 years old. I was energetic, happy, playing outside with friends on amazing adventures, being happy about getting a brand new scooter and just enjoying my childhood. I'd be pretty pissed getting tossed back into my 10-year-old self with a 24-year-old mentality. I'd want to be a kid again, but I couldn't because of all of my memories and experiences to date. So what would I do? I'd start a YouTube channel. It was invented that year, about how I'm a 24-year-old from the year 2019 and see what happens. I'd talk about anything and everything I remember. Recommendations on what to invest in. Things that nobody should know. My experiences and the people I know but don't know yet, etc. I'd write a memoir and somehow get my little 10-year-old self on Eleanor's World's First Time Traveler. From that, I'd be rich enough to do whatever, such as get rid of my parents' debt, send them on a grand vacation, buy a huge company like Facebook, etc. I'd chill, go to book signings, try and reintroduce myself to my best friends I currently have, and just love and live life until I can re-adopt my cats and introduce myself to my fiance again and see where I'm at then. FBI in 2006, when your 9th prediction comes true. FBI open up. Learn how to sew. The second best day to learn is today. Start working out. Change majors. Get better prepared for the career I'm currently in and enjoy. Take out a loan of $3,000 and buy 1,000 shares of Amazon stock. In 2005 it was roughly $30 a share. Cash it out in 2017 at $1,800 a share, to the sum of about $1.6 million. Take the $1.6 million, Place it on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl prior to the start of the 2017 season at 50-1 odds. $80 million in the bank. Retire at the age of 34. Study a little harder and complete my degree. I'm a very wise sperm cell. Your wisdom would be split between that sperm and the egg. Your sperm half better be a good navigator to get to your egg half. What a weird concept. Ducking like and subscribe.